The leaders of Italy and Germany have strongly rejected ceasefire terms laid out by Vladimir Putin to stop the war in Ukraine, as dozens of countries gathered at a summit in Switzerland to discuss ending the conflict. Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni called the Russian president's plan propaganda, which effectively suggested that Ukraine must withdraw from Ukraine. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz dismissed it as a dictatorial peace. On Friday, Mr. Putin said he would agree to a ceasefire if Ukraine withdrew troops from 4 regions which Russia partially occupies and claims to have annexed. Andriy Yermak, Chief of Staff to Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky, told the BBC at the Swiss summit that there would be no compromise on independence, sovereignty or territorial integrity. Mr. Putin revealed his terms ahead of the 2-day summit on peace in Ukraine, which is aimed at discussing the basic principles for ending the war. More than 90 countries and global institutions are attending the event. It is the biggest gathering for Ukraine since the full-scale invasion. But Russia was not invited, and China, a key ally of Russia, is not attending, so expectations of significant progress are low. Commenting on Mr. Putin's proposal, Ms. Meloni said, "It doesn't seem particularly effective to me as a negotiation proposal to tell Ukraine that it must withdraw from Ukraine." Britain's Prime Minister Rishi Sunak accused the Russian president of spinning a phony narrative about his willingness to negotiate. He added that countries helping Russia with weapon supplies are on the wrong side of history. Ukraine is already presenting the gathering at the secluded spot in Bergenstock as a success, pointing to its global reach and the number of countries represented. Mr. Zelensky said Ukraine wanted to give diplomacy a chance, and show that joint efforts could stop wars. "I believe that we will witness history being made here at the summit. May a just peace be established as soon as possible," he said. His aide Mr. Yermak, an influential figure in Ukrainian politics, brushed aside the absence of China, and suggested that when a joint plan for peace talks is ready it could be presented to Russia. "We think can happen at the second summit at the level of leaders," he said. Vladimir Putin has already ruled out any kind of peace process on Ukraine's terms, calling instead on Kyiv to withdraw from 4 Ukrainian regions which it partially occupies and claims to have annexed after referendums in 2022 which were widely denounced in Ukraine and the West as a sham. Mr. Putin's terms for a ceasefire, which he set out on Friday, were almost immediately branded offensive to common sense and absurd by Ukraine.